Hey there, guys, gals, fans, and pals. I'd like to welcome you to another summary video for the regular Megacycle Entertainment OpenTTD tournaments that I've been running regularly here. This one is called the... I just had it, hold on. Realistic. This one's called the Realistic Map Tournament, and this one was actually made by Guild Games for our tournament competition. So shout out to them, really appreciate it. Real simple on this one, 512 by 1K map. Our loan is the same, and this is from 1980 to 2000. The idea for this one is to transport as many goods as possible. Now, the goods, not crates of product, actual goods. So when I talk about that, let's just spin up a new game. I can show you what I'm talking about. When we talk about industry chains, we have these things here, and just to show, maybe for new players, what I'm talking about, I'm going to select let's select the cargo, let's select wood, for example. From a forest, we get wood, we take it to a sawmill. A sawmill produces something literally called goods. Those goods go to houses. So that was the crux of this tournament. It was the number of goods transportationed. Yes, I transportated many goods today. What a way to use that in a sentence. This does not go for company value. We usually check scores and who's the winner based on company value. I'm going to pop up in this thing. Bad representation here. I'm going to go open up just some other game. This is probably nothing. This is nothing. Cool. Okay, I don't have any save games. Neat. The idea behind it is that we have company value for each company. At the end of the tournament, this tells us what the valuation of each company is. It only says $2 because we're already in debt. Because the game just started. You start the game in debt generally. So, idea behind this one is... I'm going to turn on a little music. There we go. The idea is that we're going for goods delivered. Goods delivered, that's the idea. So, tournaments are just concluded now. We're going to pop up in this thing. This is Guild Games and Amblewell Transport. So let's see what they did. Again, I would normally check company value. None of that matters. What does matter, though, is I'm going to show you the goal list. And this has a summation of the total amount of goods that have been transported. We also have, again, thanks to the dude, we have this storybook. And this storybook also has the itemized all the way down for total cargo. So this number here, this one on the right, this is the one we want. 278856. That's what I use to gauge who did what. So we will look into this a little bit later, but let's check the map real quick. I want to do the map first, and then we'll check the ratings. So this is going to be really quick. I want to try to keep these summary videos under a half hour. Again, just a reminder, when folks do this, when we do the tournament, after I do this video, I release all the passwords and all the connection info so people can look at other people's saves and poke around and have a good time. Oh, how'd you do that? Oh, that's really cool. I did it this way. You know, we have a bit of conversation about it if we want. So it works out really well. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be real quick. Lumber, like a firm connection down the middle. Real easy, spreads out. It says a ton of stuff connected. Absolutely. Guild Games does some really solid work. We can see there's a lot of stuff going on here. Now, normally, like I said, I would check the profitability for each route. I can do that, but it doesn't super matter for this one. We're just going for goods. And they got, yeah, that's, okay, that was a template for that. Maybe something got sold. But they got a lot of stuff going on. So let's go ahead and, like I said, I want to keep these kind of brief. If you want to join the next tournament, if anyone had interest in joining the next tournament, feel free and join the Discord server. That's how I arrange and organize these things. That's how we get things going on. So again, don't look at company value. It doesn't matter. But this and this can give you an idea of what they were up to. So very much a lot of trains, right? I don't see any... Where is it? 4 airports. Did they get ships? They had some ships. Let's take a look at some ships. Let's nuke that out. Yeah, tons of oil. Yeah. Yep. This looks a lot like how I played it. Just get the oil in, get the stuff sold real easy, right? Yeah, no problem with that. Really solid stuff. I'm very confident they also had some stations that had tens of thousands of material just stocked up and ready, because that's how mine ended for sure. They also did some airports. Yeah, some really good connections here. Yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. So now we'll take a look at the numbers. I want to keep this nice and brief. But yeah, so there's their total 278,856. That's what I got written down. And yeah, that's really about all there is to this. So this was, like I said, pretty straightforward. Transport goods. We could also do shared stuff. I don't know if there's any point to it, but we could do shared. There's no way to do based on, like, this doesn't, like, the profitability doesn't super matter. The idea was to just sell as quickly as possible. There is one thing I will talk about though. Let's go ahead and pop up in one of these guys. Under normal circumstances, when you bring stuff to a factory or whatever, what happens is, so this is producing steel. What happens normally is it gets almost flashed, like almost like immediately into goods. Like there's almost no time, no real time anyway. This case, it was a bit different. 100% production rate meant that they were taking the steel to a factory, and that factory was actually cranking out into goods. I should actually just do this the right way. So steel comes out of here. Where else are you going? Waterhead Exchange to Reedburg West. So here, this is another chain, and this is what's actually producing goods. So these trains are taking the goods all the way. The reason why I wanted to bring this up is because the factories won't actually produce goods until you start selling them. So, let me try this again. I think the productivity of some of the factories and some of the stuff that makes the goods is just really, really low. But once you start delivering the goods, the factories start ramping up, so you get these higher production rates. That's what I meant to say. So, farm to a factory, stuff will produce more, better, faster, the more you actually complete the actual delivery, the delivery chain. So all this oil most likely going to be taken to a refinery somewhere. I'm going to say Binky Gate right there. And then this is picking up goods and hauling it. Oh, might be hauling it right there. Let's take a gander. Why not? Oh, there's, yep, Buoy Docks. Yep, takes it all the way there. Then that gets either transported again or sold or something. But yeah, so I guess the point I wanted to make is this challenge was actually a little interesting in that regard. I'm actually going to show you the new GRFs real quick. So this is what was used for that, I believe. Actually, let me re-pop in there, because I should show the new GRFs. Yeah. New GRF settings. Here we go. Here's the stuff. This is what we used. So tempered oil wells only decrease neutralizer. BSPI, no idea. I'm assuming for some sort of graphics. Total town replacement set. Base cost mod, generic tram, industrial stations renewal, and redfish. I guess there's not enough descriptions here. I was thinking one of these did the thing I just explained, but base cost mods just make things more expensive in terms of terraforming. So this was really called realistic because also terraforming was ridiculously expensive. But there's Guild Games. Next is going to be Cinder Elm Creek. Let's see how they did. Fishyville Transport. Fishyville Transport. So let's go ahead and take a look at the main map. We'll give it a little bit of a look around. And then we will go ahead and check on how they did. Okay, so farming, factory, farming. Bunch of lumber, iron ore. Yeah, they got some good stuff going on. And of course, you can kind of see, if you haven't seen on this map, resources and the final products are not next to each other. There's a bit of a distance. So this iron ore and this lumber most likely came all the way here. I can see the factory and the lumber mill right here. There's a lot of good stuff going on. So yeah, this is most likely picking up goods and then just dropping it right off. Is it? There it is. Boop. There we go. Real nice. Okay. So that is most likely what's happening here. Just getting it sold off. Oh, they'd used... Are those trams? What are those? Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever seen trams before. Like, not actually used. That's adorable. Huh. I'll have to give that a look sometime. I like that. I like that. Okay, any other quick points of interest? Looks like some airport stuff has been going on. A little bit of work here. Lumber mill. That's really slick. Yeah, pick up, drop off, real easy, sell it right away. More of these trams. Yeah, that's really cool. And they hold goods, really? 24 goods is not bad, actually. Huh. Okay. Neat. Real neat. I'm going to go ahead and let's check out their stats. Trains, road vehicles, ships, aircraft. Oh, I was looking down here at infrastructure. So it's like, I guess they ain't got no boats. No, they totally got boats. Quite a bit, actually. There's their infrastructure for Fishyville Transport. Here is also their global storybook. You can see how they progress throughout the years. Yeah. Scroll down just a little bit. You can see the whole thing. So I've got them at 1,815,650. That's what I've got. So very well done, Cinder Elm Creek. Very impressive, yeah. And like I said, the way this works is stuff doesn't really ramp up on the factory side or the, I don't know what we'll call it, second tier production side or whatever until you start selling the goods. So if you're just bringing iron ore to a steel mill, oh my god, I'll get there someday, and not delivering it all the way, you're not really getting all the full benefit. And of course, goods was the focus here. So selling as much goods as possible, getting that stuff delivered was really the deal. So very good. Okay, Cinder Elm Creek, well done. 1.8 mil. Was there anything else? Oh, vehicles and stuff. Shared orders. Oil. Yep, for sure. Wood. Yep, also strong contender for them. Absolutely. Ships are mostly going to be oil, so I'm not going to bother looking at that, but the trains are always what interests me for sure. Yeah, and they went also pretty ham on some boats. There was a lot of oil to be had in that location, and then also right here. There's just a lot of oil to be had. So that was good pickings for this one. Well done, Cinder Elm Creek. The dude is next. Entering the world of pain. I'm sure they absolutely nailed it. Okay. My goodness. Yes, very complex. A lot of builds, lots of stuff here. Very large cities again. Yeah, they use the city... Oh gosh, what's it called? The City Mania, I want to say? City Mania client. They use the City Mania client, and with that they can build stuff up a bit faster and a bit more efficient than others. But yeah, an absolute conga line of trucks. So let's talk about this, because this is an interesting thing. If you're not familiar how this works, I bet you any money this is the stations alternating back and forth. We'll have to see, maybe. Yeah, so I'll just click on that and that. Let's see here, coverage. That'll be the indicator. So what this does is this absolutely minimizes all the way down to like 0% wait time. What happens is a truck picks up, it moves 5 feet, it drops its stuff. Very easy, right? So let's check the coverage of the other one. There you go. So this one goes into town. This one is the station. So it's a very direct way to just get a lot of stuff moving very, very, very quickly. And I mean very, right? If you drop off product at a station and that product changes into something else, it doesn't just automatically get sold. A good example is this, right? If something here is producing the goods, which it is, here's the factory. If they're dropping off product and that's turning into something, it doesn't just get sold. It gets dropped off somewhere else. So this is where it's getting dropped off, right? Blinkygate East, right? So that's where it's getting dropped off. And then it's being picked up somewhere else. And then it's being dropped off again. So Blinkygate East, that's where it gets picked up, or I guess dropped off. And then one of these is actually receiving. Yep, Blinkygate Transfer is what's receiving the goods. And then Blinkygate Annex is what's selling the product. So that's a very, very quick and dirty description about how that works. But that, again, ensures that you're moving very high volume product as quickly as you possibly can. And when everything got ramped up in this later, which it absolutely does, There's so much product. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. You just want to motor as much as you can motor for sure. So, lots of good stuff here. Yeah, and like I said, if you want to ever take a look at these players and check out their worlds and see how it's done, join the Discord server. Check it out for yourself. Yeah, it's all here for folks to poke and take a look at and everything. I also don't believe I see any boats. It's an interesting take. Almost everyone did some. Oh nope, I lied. I was like, almost everyone did some form of boats. I didn't see any boats though. Let's go ahead. Where are you at? These are cute little guys. How much can they hold? That's really cute. I went the biggest ships. I don't know if that was smart or not. But okay, there's a bunch of oil being had. Yep. And most likely dropped off here. Yep, there's a refinery right there. Easy cake, right? Absolutely good stuff. So here's their details. Again, company value is not important at all. What is important is the amount of stuff they've moved. So let's check that out. Here's their storybook right away. They got selling goods on year 2. My goodness. 4.1 million. 4170866. That's what I've got here. Very impressive. They got a lot of work done in very short order. Let's also check this just because we can. 101 cargo trains. Jeez. Yeah, you wonder where the volume comes from? There. That's where the volume comes from. That's absolutely bananas. That's absolutely bananas. Alright. I think I talked about everything here. Oh. There's the thanks, John. That's adorable. Oh, I didn't check the other saves for thanks, Johns. Okay. I'm doing this too fast and I'm doing it too sloppy. I get it. Not to whatever, but just so we get on video. Let's see if we can find the other, in case there are others. I'm not expecting them. Oh, found it right away. Thanks, John. That was fast. Oh, very cool. All right, Cinder Elm Creek. Thank you very much for the thanks, John. No one has to do it. I never once said there better be a damn thanks, John. In that thing. No. Just started doing it. It's freaking dope. I love it. Okay, I found that one. Let's see if we can find the one in Guild Games as well. If there is one. I don't know if there is. But just a quick cursory glance. Riddle bottom. There's a couple of tools I've developed. Quote-unquote tools. To figure out, to see if I can find it. First of all, just a quick glance. Quick glance around. See if there's anything visually out of order. Right? I don't believe I see anything visually out of order. Yep. That's fine. Next, what I do is I also go and I view the HQ. Sometimes. Not enough trains. Oops. That's excellent. Another thing I do is I open up the map and I go through all the views. So, terrain deformation, or that's the topographic map. This is routes, aircraft and vehicles, industries, cargo flow, roads, trees, and foliage and such. And the end there. Okay, they got me. I have no idea where it would be if it's even in here. If it is, cool. If not, also cool. Anyway, so everyone's doing very well so far. Very impressed. Next is going to be Bogus. They were on 3. Command prompt. Very classic name for Bogus, yeah? Let's take a look at map of the world. Oh, very goodness. Some very, very tight areas here. Very, very tight. See, this is the first time I've seen the other kind of station. I gave it a try on my game, and it looked just strictly... Oh, that was fast. Thanks, John. 2M Dell. Oh, 2 million delivered? Let's take a gander. Well, here's their information, in case you wanted to see. That's what I'm assuming 2M Dell means. 2 million delivered. We'll check out their, not the global storybook, their storybook. There we go. I think everyone absolutely just kicked my butt up and down. Yeah, 2 million delivered. Freaking congratulations on that. Got some real heavy hitters. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Cheswick, yep. Oh, that's great. Yeah, 2 million delivered. I want to see... okay, so this is all lumber to the sawmill. Sawmill to somewhere else, yeah. Oil. Yeah. No, still really well. For 2 million delivered, that's pretty freaking amazing. And of course, a bunch of ships. Ships are a really easy way to get started. They're very stress-free. You chuck down a couple buoys, you're kind of done, right? So this is loading up on goods, most likely delivering here. Yeah, very clean. Very clean. I love this look, but I don't get what the... Maybe it's just visual, but I could not figure it out for the life of me. I didn't know if, like, if you use the lumber loading thing, you load lumber even faster or something. I'm not sure. Let's go ahead and check out their train count. Yeah, very spread out there, yeah. So, I mean, to get to 2 million, friggin' incredible. Yeah, wasted no time about the whole thing. Very, very cool. One more look at the map. Yeah, so this, you might be wondering what this line down the middle of the map is. It's just road. That's all it is. That's all it is. Just pre-built road already with the map. So someone took some time and developed it out a little bit. But yeah, just a road going right down the middle of the map. Yes, serious, ma'am. What else? What else? I think that covers Bo Gus. Yeah. Very well done. I mean, I'm very confident blew my score out of the water, so very well done. Next is Cyber Psycho, with, I'm sure, Psychotic Transport? Yes, absolutely. The classic. The absolute classic. Let's check a look on their map. Oh, found it. Very cool. Very cool. That's very awesome. I'm always very thankful for that. So you can see they mostly stayed in this northern portion of the map. Those are roads connecting, but I don't see any buses or trucks. So maybe that's just there normally. I don't remember. I honestly can't recall. But yeah, take a quick look at their map. Quackwell, yeah. Lots of good stuff coming in. Man, is there what is this? What is this? How does this... What is this? Okay. Okay, coverage. Okay, then I bet this other side. And there's just a road in the middle. Oh my god. I wish I could unpause the game. Maybe if I save it locally, because that... I don't know how the throughput of that works. God, maybe it doesn't. But still, that's pretty incredible. Is it just go there, load, go there, unload? Yeah, okay. Yep, very cool. When you have multiple stations that'll overlap a factory or whatever, like this does, see they both overlap this, you want to make sure that you are very explicit when it comes to loading and unloading orders. Oh my god. Otherwise what'll happen is you'll have a truck go to one place, pick up goods, go to another one, drop it off, then pick up goods again. And what that messes up with is the priority for how the goods are distributed. You really want only one station to get all the priority, right? Because if you start splitting it, it gets kind of weird. I don't know how else to explain it, but that's how I'm explaining it. So that's wacky. I love it. It's got its own productive, chaotic energy about it, and I like it. So man, there was farms coming all the way, all over the dang. And if not the iron ore, then the steel. Yeah, I bet you need money. Okay, you got a steel mill and a factory right here. Okay, so you got a bunch of trains literally just going in between both, and you got a bunch of trucks doing the same thing. Just hauling steel. And then this one is it's the same logic, right? You got this one that is the seller. That's one selling the goods, and this one is picking up the goods. Yeah, boom, 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 real fast. So anything to learn from this tournament so far, you can notice these really tight truck networks really pay off in this sort of a configuration. Absolutely. Long distance, I don't think trucks work. I don't think trucks work for super long distance. And we've hosted a couple of tournaments like that. It's not terrible, but it's not crazy great, you know? But it does work. It does work. So yeah, there is Cyberpsycho's schematics. Again, it doesn't super matter. What we really care about is this. Their goods sold. So how much can I put them down for? 690,000. That's still pretty dope. 690723. I got it written down right there. Good stuff. And let's check their most heavily used stuff. So this looks like iron ore to me, and not goods. Yep, iron ore. I was correct. Well done with that. Okay. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I don't think I've got anything else to really comment on. They did a very good job getting, you know, half this map is completely owned. And that works out really well. And they also did boats. Yeah, smattering of some boats in there. Not too bad. Okay, good stuff. Well done, Cyberpsycho. And last but not least, myself, JohnMegacycle, John T Megacycle Transport. My middle initial isn't even T, but I still like it. I still like it. This is gonna be real quick. I did not get nearly as much accomplished as everyone else. Yeah, I think I was having too fun just staring. But I started in boats. You can see all my blue bits. I got all the boats. We go to Windy Weed, and then to get a little extra money, I was taking stuff to Cheesewick, which was, I think, a really bad mistake. I should have just done the quick transport, but I needed money. I didn't have a lot of money. And I did a trucks pickup, trucks drop off kind of a thing, real easy. But that just got the goods a-flowing. So after I did that one, I was really happy with that. So I did the other, so all the oil over here gets put to this rail line. Rail line comes here for oil. Goods go really close to Fishyville, and they drop off the goods. And then I added a bit more in Mangleworth, so I got some farm stuff coming here. This got really messy. I don't know why I did it this way, but I totally did it this way. Stuff gets picked up, livestock on one side, grain on another. The orders got completely hosed. But anyway, this was picking up farming stuffs. Farming stuff is going here to the Sleepy Wood docks. And then, yeah, that turns into this factory here, livestock, grain, and steel. And then I instead of doing the trucks this time, I just did the train. Oh, I did the trucks also, but then I also did trains because we were just moving so many goods. It was crazy. That's the most of my run. I didn't really understand what the power plant accomplished. Taking coal to a power plant. And I was like, I don't get what this actually does. Where did I do that? Yeah, it was here. I couldn't figure out if this gave, like, more production or something. Like, I didn't know what this did. So I just mostly ignored it. But yeah, I also did quite a bit of the steel. This is where the steel comes from for that factory. So, oops. We got steel right there. That picks up steel. That drops off the steel. That brings it here. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. Not too bad, right? So that was the brunt of my run. Pretty straightforward. I honestly spent a lot of time tweaking things. I should have just kept motoring, but I spent a lot of time tweaking things. So there we go. There's my glasses, stash und schnoz. Not too bad. I was actually really happy with the run, even though I performed, I'm very confident, significantly less than anyone else. But I still really had a lot of fun with it. The beginning was rough. Boats are neat, but I really didn't make any money until... Yeah, I didn't make any money the first year. From 80 to 81, nothing. My value actually went down significantly. I also got 2 notifications on potential bankruptcy. Not as great, right? Still, though, made it in the end. 796,901. So that is how my run ended. Let's go ahead and check out the highest whatever's. Yeah, it's oil. It was absolutely oil. Worked out very well. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. Yeah. Yeah. What else? Is there anything else to talk about this run? I don't really think so. Let's go ahead and do the final. Yeah. So, let's see here. For the winner for we called it the 2025 Realistic Tournament. This was, again, goods-based, not company value-based. So, the dude for 4,170,866 goods delivered. Bo Gus with 2,061,337. Cinder Elm Creek very close behind, 1,815,650. J-Megs, hey, how's it going? 796,901. Cyber Psycho, 690,723. And Gill Games, 278,856 goods delivered. So thanks again to everyone who participated, those who check out this video later, the summary, and all that. Feel free to join our Discord server. Every single video I have, the description has the invite link to Discord. Yeah. So thanks again. Yeah, that wraps it up. I appreciate your time, and I hope to catch you next time.